Seth Rollins breaks character to send a message to Jon Moxley and Roman Reigns. Surprise is rumored to take place on WWE SmackDown. John Cena reunites with former rival on SmackDown. Triple H bash for Elias. Vince McMahon reportedly gains massive power after the WWE UFC merger. Female WWE stars concerned for their safety after Nia Jax's return on Raw. Roman Reigns' late WWE star would have been a billion-dollar idea, and more. Let's jump right into it. Surprise is rumored to take place on WWE SmackDown. WWE Friday Night SmackDown is set to air tonight on Fox Network. The show will be held live from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. According to WrestleTix, over 12,000 fans are expected to be in attendance. A handful of big matches and moments have been confirmed for the blue brand. John Cena, who is back for at least a few more weeks, will be a special guest on the Grayson Waller Effect talk show. Beyond that, a major inter-brand bout is confirmed. The Miz from Monday Night Raw will go one-on-one with SmackDown's LA Knight. This will be a rematch from the Payback Premium Live event, where the megastar stood tall. Additionally, tons of top SmackDown stars will likely appear. Still, there may also be some intriguing moments and big surprises that will hook fans into watching for weeks to come. What major shockers may go down? Here are 4 surprises that could take place on WWE SmackDown. Number 4. Carlito could finally return to WWE. Carlito may finally return to WWE on the upcoming episode of Friday Night SmackDown. He last appeared at the Backlash event in Puerto Rico, but he hasn't been a regular member of the roster for over a decade. Rumors came out a few months ago that the former United States champion signed a deal with the promotion. He was even allegedly set to return at the SmackDown in Madison Square Garden, but it never happened. His WWE return could finally happen tonight on the blue brand. Carlito could end up aligned with the Latino World Order, which could make for some fun matches. The star eventually betraying the group could also be fun. Will the 4-time champion return tonight? Number 3. John Cena could attack LA Knight and turn heel. As noted, John Cena will appear on the Grayson Waller Effect, and LA Knight will clash with The Miz on tonight's episode of WWE SmackDown. That may not be the only time the two stars are seen, however. Meg and Cena may have a major feud in the works. The pair had a show of respect at Payback, but there were moments that signified Knight and Cena also had some level of tension between them. That tension could mount on WWE SmackDown, with the 16-time world champion shockingly turning heel and ruthlessly attacking the megastar. Cena hasn't been a heel in WWE since he turned babyface back in the early 2000s. While doing so would be a questionable decision, some fans would love to see how he fares as a villain. Turning on the popular Knight may be the best way for the legend to get heel heat. Number 2. Kairi Sane could return. Carlito isn't the only former champion from WWE's past reportedly set to return to the promotion. Former women's tag team champion and NXT women's champion Kairi Sane is also rumored to be making her return soon. Unlike Carlito, Sane is seemingly still finishing up independent dates over in Japan. Despite that, the promotion could have her appear on the blue brand, either in person or via a video of some kind. If she does return, Kairi may target Bayley. The role model viciously attacked Sane prior to the Pirate Princess leaving WWE 3 years ago. Another option is for the former champion to reunite with the Kabuki Warriors, aligning with Asuka. Number 1. Bianca Belair could join her husband in a new dominant stable. Bobby Lashley is looking to dominate WWE. The Almighty has done it on his own in the past and as part of the Hurt Business, but now he looks to take over with totally different partners by his side, the Street Profits. Lashley was shown talking with Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins privately, and their on-screen relationship has grown ever since. This eventually led to the group expressing their desire to run the promotion and become the top stable across each brand. If the trio wants to truly take over the company, however, they will need a female star who can capture gold in the women's division. Bianca Belair is Montez Ford's wife and has a bone to pick with several stars, so joining the faction could be a great way to make a massive impact. Plus, if the stable feuds with the Judgment Day, they'll need help with Rhea Ripley. John Cena reunites with former rival on SmackDown. At Money in the Bank 2023, John Cena's unexpected return drew a great response from those present in the arena and fans watching on television. However, the return of the leader of Cenation was spoiled by Grayson Waller. While Cena made the Aussie pay a price for it, the duo will come face-to-face once again this week. John Cena will appear in the Grayson Waller Effect on SmackDown this week. Ever since this segment was advertised, fans have been very excited about it. While it is expected that Cena and Waller will mainly indulge in a verbal confrontation, there is a possibility that Austin Theory will attack Cena on the show. It completely makes sense because not only has Theory teamed up with Waller in recent times, but he also has a history with John Cena. If this happens and the duo attacks the 16-time world champion, Cena will have to find a partner. This is where WWE could book Randy Orton to team up with the leader of Cenation. Over the years, Cena and Orton have shared a rivalry. However, both being in the twilight of their careers, it will be good to see them join hands. Moreover, WWE would also be able to add more star power to SmackDown by bringing Orton back. This segment would also give Waller and theory, a great push. Since making his debut on the main roster, Grayson Waller has been experiencing a good time in WWE. From interviewing top wrestlers to sharing the ring with legends, Waller seems to be doing all the right things. Till now, Waller has shared the ring with the likes of Edge, Cody Rhodes, and Rey Mysterio. However, on Friday, the Aussie will be hosting John Cena on the Grayson Waller effect. Cena is arguably Waller's biggest guest on the show. While the 33-year-old will be expected to suppress his emotions and continue being a heel, Waller, before the show, shared a heartwarming message on Twitter. Reacting to a post by WWE, Waller wrote, "Take a second to let the moment sink in. Dreams do come true. This is indeed a dream come true moment for Grayson Waller. Given his skills on the mic, many expect Waller to do well against John Cena. If the Aussie can replicate what he did at Money in the Bank, he can expect to receive a great push on SmackDown." What are your thoughts on John Cena appearing in the Grayson Waller show? Sound off in the comments section below. Triple H bash for Elias. Triple H's new WWE regime hit a reboot on several top stars who were heavily featured on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown under Vince McMahon's creative leadership. Fans recently reacted to a recent report on Elias' status with the company. Last year, Triple H took over the creative for weekly shows when Vince McMahon left WWE for a while. Elias, who was Ezekiel at the time, was written off for weeks before he returned, and Kevin Owens sent him packing from weekly television for good. According to a recent report from BWE, Elias is without a professional contract and is no longer with WWE. There were speculations on what the company will do with Elias, and it might become clear in the coming days. Fans recently reacted to Elias' contract situation. Elias was not used as a staple on the main roster after Triple H's new regime arrived. The Drifter was last seen in May 2023 when he took part in Battle Royal on Monday Night Raw as a free agent. It will be interesting to see what he does next in the world of professional wrestling. Last year, Elias went away for a while and was replaced by his brother, Ezekiel, after WrestleMania 38. He feuded with Kevin Owens for a while on Monday Night Raw before the arrival of the new regime. After Triple H's new regime came into power, Ezekiel was written off from weekly shows. A couple of months later, Elias returned with his former gimmick on the same brand. However, the Drifter was never pushed or played a prominent role in the brand. Later, the company teased the idea of a tag team with him and Rick Boogs on Monday Night Raw. However, Triple H's new regime didn't push the idea to a complete fruition, and the two ended up going their separate ways. Later, he became a free agent during the annual WWE draft, but made sporadic appearances for the company. Elias faced a similar fate in the then black and gold brand, which was also under Hunter's creative leadership. In the end, he lost a loser leaves NXT match and made his way to the main roster under Vince McMahon's regime. What are your thoughts on Elias? Sound off in the comments section below. Vince McMahon reportedly gains massive power after the WWE-USC merger. As per recent rumors, Vince McMahon could influence the decision-making process in USC after becoming a member of the board of directors of TKO. The news of WWE and USC merging and being acquired by Endeavor Group came to light following WrestleMania 39. After months of anticipation, the deal finally came through on September 12, when the two sports juggernauts were merged into a single entity under the leadership of Endeavor and named TKO. Since then, there's been rampant speculation about how much power the big players involved in the merger hold. While Triple H is no longer a part of WWE's board of directors, Vince McMahon's influence has reportedly grown. As per Bloody Elbow, the 78-year-old now holds veto power in TKO, which would also allow him to contribute to the decision-making process in USC. As expected, this development has drawn heated reactions from fans on social media, who were skeptical of McMahon influencing the direction of USC. While some Twitter users seemed genuinely concerned about how Vince McMahon's involvement could change things, many others shared sarcastic replies about USC going the scripted route like WWE. Former WWE superstar Maven recently shared his opinion on Vince McMahon letting go of his global empire by having it acquired by Endeavor. He mentioned that he was shocked to see McMahon not handing over the company's reins to either his children, Stephanie or Shane McMahon, who have proved themselves as capable leaders. Shocking, like literally shocking. I was more convinced the sun wouldn't come up tomorrow than Vince would ever let anyone have his babies. But stunning for two parts, and the first part is, I'm shocked Vince would ever give up control, and I'm shocked that he would ever not pass on the company to Steph or to Shane. That just blows my mind. Yeah, that said, business is business, and I understand that you have to do what's best at the moment, said Maven. It remains to be seen if WWE will undergo some fundamental changes in the following weeks and months now that its leadership has changed hands. What do you make of Vince McMahon being a member of the board of directors of TKO? Do you see him suggesting any changes in USC's operations? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Female WWE stars concerned for their safety after Nia Jax's return on Raw. Former hardcore champion Stevie Richards believes several female superstars could be concerned for their safety following Nia Jax's return on WWE Raw. Jax returned to the Stanford-based company last Monday, nearly 2 years after her release. The irresistible force was criticized during her first WWE run for allegedly being unsafe in the ring. Breaking Becky Lynch's nose ahead of Survivor Series 2018 did not help with the reputation. Upon her return last Monday, Jax attacked Rocco Rodriguez and and Rhea Ripley. She delivered a banzai drop to the Eradicator from the second rope, which Stevie Richards believed was unsafe for multiple reasons. In a new analysis video on his YouTube, Richards claimed that Jax could have seriously injured Ripley. Hence, he believes some female superstars are probably now concerned for their safety after seeing Jax move. This here, I said it before, it's just dog shit. It's awful. This is awful. This is an awful way, and it doesn't do anything for Nia Jax either, because the girls are watching in the back going, she's just as unsafe and dangerous as when she broke Becky Lynch's nose, as when she didn't take care of Kairi Sane. She's just as dangerous, if not more, because now she's hyped up, amped up, excited, and she's going into business for herself, so to say. She's not, but she's taking liberties with both of these girls and putting them in vulnerable positions, he said. The former hardcore champion added, I bet there's girls backstage going, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. You're not busting my sternum, breaking my ribs, or the girls that have the breast implants. You're not popping my breast implant and causing me to be out, or even worse. God knows what can happen and what can go wrong when that happens. While Stevie Richards believes Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, and Raquel Rodriguez have held some responsibility for what happened during the segment, he thinks most of the blame falls on WWE. The former hardcore champion blamed whoever approved these spots in the Stanford-based company. But once again, I blame the agents, I blame management, I blame creative, I blame who is ever in charge of approving all this. Because this isn't just like, hey, let's go out there and figure it out. They rehearsed it. They went over it. They wrote it down on a piece of paper. Everybody is guilty beyond belief of what went wrong with this entire segment, he said. Roman Reigns to lose his title at WWE Survivor Series. WWE has released the initial poster for next year's Royal Rumble, with Roman Reigns nowhere in sight. While it isn't known if the tribal chief will miss the show or not, this has caused quite a buzz on social media. It would be pretty odd if Reigns doesn't wrestle at the Royal Rumble in 2024 unless he loses the undisputed WWE Universal Championship beforehand. Looking at the premium live event calendar for the rest of 2023, there is only one place a potential title change could happen: Survivor Series, and looking at the roster, the best choice to dethrone Roman Reigns is the obvious one. Cody Rhodes might move to SmackDown following Jey Uso's switch to Raw. The American Nightmare remains the top pick to end Roman's reign, whether at WrestleMania 40, Survivor Series 2023, or elsewhere. There might be a reason why Rhodes was so delighted at Jey returning to WWE and joining Raw. He may have known all along, which could catch Roman Reigns off guard. A rematch between the two in November would go down pretty well as long as Cody Rhodes wins. This title change can then lead to another hiatus for the tribal chief before he returns for WrestleMania. While the scenario makes perfect sense, WWE might be hesitant to take the title off Reigns before April 2024. In fact, he might hold it long enough to surpass Hulk Hogan's 1,474-day reign deep into next year. There's no telling when it will end. While unlikely, Roman Reigns losing his undisputed WWE Universal Championship before the end of 2023 could lead to some interesting possibilities. It would change the entire complexion of WrestleMania 40. The company's plans for the April 2024 event could see a seismic shift. A rematch with Cody Rhodes wouldn't be the most creative idea, as the tribal chief must leave the world title scene the moment his reign ends. He can instead have the one match everyone has been waiting to see for years. Does The Rock finally return here? Some may say it's too late at this point, but a match between Roman Reigns and his Hollywood star cousin is the perfect culmination of his current run. The big use would defeat The Rock as he transitions into a full-time part-timer in WWE. Roman Reigns vs. late WWE star would have been $1 billion idea. A former WWE star recently stated that Roman Reigns going against the late Umaga would have been a massively successful idea. The veteran in question is Maven. Umaga tragically passed away in December 2009 at 36 years old. The WWE veteran suffered a heart attack that resulted in his untimely passing. Former WWE superstar Maven recently did a Q and a session on his official YouTube channel. One fan asked to drop a few names that he would like to have in his dream stable. Maven shared a bunch of names, including Randy Orton, Mark Jindrak, Seth Rollins, and Umaga. Maven stated that Umaga versus Roman Reigns would have been a $1 billion idea. Alright, so you're kicking me, anybody? So here's my answer to that. My stable would be myself, Randy Orton, Mark Jindrak. From today's class, I would take Seth Rollins. I love Seth's work. And I would probably, you can't have a stable without throwing a Simone in there. So I would take Umaga, and here's why. I would love to see what he could have done against Roman, and I think that would be just $1 billion idea. Many fans aren't aware that Umaga was Reigns' first cousin. Umaga's father, Elevera Anoa'i, was the real-life brother of Reigns' father, Seka. Reigns made his way to WWE shortly after Umaga's passing. He spent a couple of years honing his craft in FCW and NXT before making his big main roster debut as a member of The Shield at Survivor Series 2012. Fast forward 11 years and Reigns is hands down the most successful member of The Shield. He has been pushed heavily over the past decade. For the initial few years, fans weren't happy over WWE shoving a babyface Reigns down their throats. In 2020, Reigns turned heel and is now the biggest WWE attraction since John Cena. Would you have liked to see a match between Umaga and Roman Reigns? Sound off in the comments below. Seth Rollins breaks character to send a message to Jon Moxley and Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins recently took to Twitter to send a message to Jon Moxley and Roman Reigns. The reigning WWE World Heavyweight Champion topped Pro Wrestling Illustrated's 500 list this year, with Reigns and Moxley at number 2 and number 3, respectively. Taking to Twitter, Rollins reacted to The Shield topping this year's PWI 500 by posting a photo of the faction's iconic fist bump. The Hounds of Justice were once regarded as the most dominant faction in all of professional wrestling, and its members, though scattered across different brands and companies, are still the top stars in the industry. Rollins is the reigning World Heavyweight Champion, and Reigns is the current undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Moxley, meanwhile, is signed to All Elite Wrestling, where he is a 3-time AEW World Champion and the current International Champion. Rollins is currently one of the biggest babyfaces in WWE. Reigns and Moxley, however, have been working as heels with their respective factions, the Bloodline and the Blackpool Combat Club. Seth Rollins is currently feuding with Shinsuke Nakamura, whom he defeated at the Payback Premium Live event. Speaking on WWE's The Bump, the Visionary discussed his injured back, which has been targeted by Shinsuke Nakamura. Rollins said, "It is what it is. All of us have something. We've all got some sort of nagging injury. We've all got something that is pulling at us, telling us we need to slow down. That is just part of the game. I know that. Everybody knows that. Now my injury might be a little more serious than some people, but I know how to manage it. I told Shinsuke, I told the world I won the World Heavyweight Championship with a broken back. I've been defending the World Heavyweight Championship with a broken back." Rollins captured the World Heavyweight title by defeating AJ Styles earlier this year to become the inaugural champion. He has successfully defended his title against Finn Balor and Braun Breaker. What are your thoughts on Seth Rollins' tweet? Sound off in the comments section.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing